Hey, everybody. Welcome to 2218's Attitude for Gratitude. This is Tad, and you know I'm hanging out with my better best friend,
Elena. Hello, everybody.
and that is my co host tonight. And we have another guest host here who's filling in for Elena's spot as producer. You want to say hi, Mandy?
Hi, Mandy.
Hi,
Mandy.
And we'll get to our guest a little later. Right now, we're going to do something a little different that we don't normally do here on 2218's Attitude for Gratitude. A really good couple people that were part of the club and good friends died this week. So Elena's going to talk about our friend Loki, a.k.a. Tim.
So we found out this week that we lost a really good guy. I didn't really know him as well as a lot of other people. His name was Tim, but around the rooms, people called him Loki. Unfortunately, a lot of the people that we hear about that die or pass away around the rooms, it's due to addiction, but in his case, he didn't die of addiction. He was actually, his life was taken by somebody else. So in this crazy, crazy life that we all live, we still lose people. And he was fighting for a better life. And I went through his Facebook today and I read some comments from his family and a lot of his friends. And one of the posts from his, I don't know if it was his mom or his aunt or who it was, but he was working at a better life. Like, he was talking about going back to school. He was talking about doing all of these things. Like, he was working his life to a better recovery.
He was one of the kindest souls I've ever known.
And I've seen him go to different functions. Like, I saw him go to Valley Fair with everybody, and I saw him go to, like, he's been to bowling. I've seen him here at 2218. I've seen him at Willwork. He's always got a smile on his face. He's always saying hi to people. He was amazing, and we will always remember him because of that. He was a great guy, and it really, really is terrible for all of us that he won't be able to share that with all the newcomers that come into these rooms because of these situations. So it's really terrible. And there are some amazing, amazing friends in the rooms that do miss him.
Absolutely. Rest in peace, brother, and we hope you're at ease. Another guy, Derek Nelson, and I'm breaking his anonymity. Derek wouldn't mind. I met him in treatment, and he went to NA here quite a bit on Wednesday nights. But he was a different character. He was smart. He was artistic, and he liked music. I went to his funeral today, and he was just a different soul. I met him, I'll tell the story. I met him in treatment, and we had this makeup art teacher, and everybody kind of didn't like her and didn't get along with her. And she wasn't mean, but she was blunt and could kind of rub you the wrong way. And she was talking to us kind of and going at it. And so Derek he thought it was funny, and some people won't find this funny, but he pretended that he was schizophrenic and acted like he was talking to his imaginary friend Dorito. And she was so disarmed by this, she didn't know how to respond because she couldn't do that. And so I always called him Dorito Derek after that. But through that, he was also a supporter of my mustache that everyone else hated. He got me the coat, to complete the John Holmes look, and the aviators. And Derek was a neat guy. And I'm just gonna read. I'm just going to read the Afterglow, which was a poem that is on his little thing. And it said, I'd like the memory of me to be a happy one. I'd like to leave an afterglow of smiles when life is done. I'd like to leave an echo whispering softly down the ways of happy times and laughing times and bright and sunny days. I'd like the tears of those who grieve to dry before the sun of happy memories that I leave when life is done. And so, just to kind of tie it all together before we get in the show, because this is radio, we're not going to take a moment of silence, but I just want, in the comments, if you've lost anyone, go ahead and you can leave them in the comments, but just tell people that you love them, because life is short, and we never know, and this show is in memory and honor of Derek Nelson and Loki, so hard to move on from that. I'm almost tearing up. But 2218 here, where we do the podcast. If you'd like to keep the lights on or any of that type of stuff, donate money. Feel free to check out the links that our producer Matt is going to put. And I'm going to read the Pat C. Vision Bash, which is tomorrow. I'm going to read that huge paragraph of stuff, and then Elena and I are going to check in, and then we're going to get into the show. Here in the midst of the pandemic, 2218 has been a beacon of hope for the alcoholics and addicts who still suffer. Through the energetic efforts of the Board of Trustees, leadership, the governor's mandates, we were always studied with a view. How do we meet the mandates and still keep the doors open and our arms wide for those who are struggling with our disease? More of us are dying from alcoholism and addictions than COVID-19 virus. The doors of 2218 stayed open. The society was blessed with generous donors from many grateful recovering alcoholics and addicts that turned their higher power gifts to successful enterprise and returned donations for operating costs and building maintenance. While other events raise funds for a historic structure, the Pat C. Birthday Bashes raises funds for the programs and operating costs to ensure the lights are on. The house warm, clean, and welcome mat and the parking lot are clear to snow in the winter. The Pat C. Birthday Bash Endowment creates a pool of funds for scholarships for those alcoholics and addicts of the inner city so they can have money available for food, housing, and clothing. The scholarships are structured to ensure ongoing connections through meeting attendance with the member squads, having a personal sponsor, a big book study, and volunteer activities to allow these new members to use their higher power provided talents and gifts in useful and positive ways after they have cleared away the wreckage of their past. And please come join us tomorrow, September 18th, the Alamo Society of Minneapolis, 2218 South. Also, the Walk for Recovery is going on tomorrow. Check that out. That's at the Capitol from 10 to 3. I will be out there selling wristbands. I'll be decked out in 2218 gear, and I'll be selling wristbands still for $15, even though they'll be $22.20 here. So if you want to get them for $5 cheaper, I'll be there. I'll also be passing out some stuff, some free stuff. I was given the green light to take a little bit of free 2218 merch and give it out. So
What else are you passing out?
flyers to promote our show that the lovely Elena and talented Elena did. So that being said, before we check in, Jacob, you just want to say hi and tell us what you're grateful for, because you are off the hook because the guest showed up.
I'm grateful that hi, my name is Jacob, and I'm an addict alcoholic. You'll hear me at some point. I'm going to come back and be a guest, but the guest did show up for the night, the scheduled one. And what am I grateful for today? I'm grateful for a great community of sober people and friends like the ones I have sitting in this room. Very grateful.
I love you, brother.
I love you too.
You get back to your relaxing night that you were trying to
I'm
have.
gonna get back to my laundry probably.
All right. Take her easy. So, with what's going on with you?
What's going on with me?
Yeah, you check in.
I don't know. It's been a crazy week. I don't know. It's the first week of school for my kid. You remember those days? Well, I don't know. Well, you probably remember. Remember those days? Mandy probably does. When you could watch your kid get on the school bus and you get to wave goodbye and you get to like.
Oh, and they're so cute.
And they're so cute.
Oh my
and-
gosh, they are so cute.
Yep, and you're like, yes, I get this 8-hour break. Yeah, I don't get that shit no more. I don't get that no more. I drop her off at school.
And you go to work.
I don't see the yellow banana no more. I don't get none of it. I get to go to work. I get to come home. Nothing. It's like I don't get that.
Oh, you miss your kids.
I do
little.
miss my kids. But like I miss when they were little. Like I want to go kidnap my niece just so I can put her on the bus and feel what I did when my kids were little. And then I want to be one of those moms that like has one of those first day of school things where you.
So you
Well-
seen everyone else's first day of school stuff and you got jealous.
I did. I got jealous. I got jealous because I
Yep.
used to be that mom that would go get her nails done on the first day of school. I would take that day off on purpose. Like, this is my holiday. And I didn't get to do that this year. I worked, which I love working, don't get me wrong.
But you'll
If I
be
could work 7 days a week and not lose my mind, I would.
wait. So let me get this straight. You're stating that you haven't lost your mind already. That look. Well,
I can't answer that and honestly be working a good program.
oh, you're a lot more sane than you think you are.
I am pretty sane.
So, I was just giving you a hard
I
time.
am pretty sane.
Should we
you know,
should we
you know
just
what I just
ignore him and not even?
I don't know if I want to ignore him. Timmy, I miss you.
What's up, Tim?
I missed my Timmy hug today.
Oh yeah, she was talking about that all the time. Yeah, that's why we were talking about him.
I'm gonna go through Tim withdrawals.
I mean, we'll get over it, but
I don't know if I don't know if I'm gonna get over it.
I mean, I'm just saying, instead of staring at Tim, I get to stare at Elena, and my girlfriend's in your spot, so I'm doing all right.
Tim said stop eating in the mic.
Oh, you can hear that?
It's like he never left.
Oh man,
Tim, I already put your
Ti-
phone number on
You
there
know
'cause
what?
I'm way
Tim,
ahead of you.
We will stop eating in the mic, but someone has to do what you would normally do. So we just didn't want people to, feel left out. Someone has to obnoxiously. breathe
Tim,
and
there's
eat
no
in the mic.
pizza,
Yeah.
which we probably shouldn't have anyways with the guest we have tonight. So it's okay. We're gonna go without
Because he's a
pizza
fitness.
tonight.
Everyone thinks of him as super fit.
I
guy.
probably shouldn't eat pizza with the guest we have tonight. So
Mandy,
I was
how's
gonna say, what are you trying to say?
we usually have pizza.
yeah?
Man.
How's your week? You want to
Tim's
check
not
in
here.
real quick?
What
No.
up, Mandy?
No, I don't want to. I definitely don't want to check it. No, I've had a
not?
great week. Aside from feeling like I had the plague earlier in the week, being sick, I've gotten to take a step back and kind of look at the progress that I've made over this past year, and I had a chance to chat with a friend that I've had for a couple of years, and just kind of let her know where I'm at. And it was really refreshing to hear myself speak and not sound like I'm in turmoil and everything's on fire, dumpster fire of a life kind of situation. And saying, here I'm actually adulting. I've had my job that I've had for how long now? I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm regularly meeting with my sponsor. I'm going to be hitting my 9 months of sobriety coming up on the 1st. And I'm searching for my own fortress of solitude, and I can actually have my own place. And I'm so excited for all these things that are coming along for me. And seeing where I was a year ago from this, it's been phenomenal. So that's my week.
It's crazy.
I know, right?
It's crazy. I hate when I look back and I'm like, I used to be like that. No. And no matter how many years you have, you look back, like I'm coming up on 3, and I look back like a year ago and I'm like, I really did that at 2 years sober? What?
Well,
Word.
so here's one great part of the conversation that made me realize kind of how far I've come along in all this. It wasn't even that part of it. When I said that I've actually started dating, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm actually trying to have a healthy relationship. Look at me go. And her response,
dating?
Huh? I know. Shh, we don't talk about these things. So she's like, she goes, oh gosh, so has he met all the different versions of you? And I laughed because, when I was in active addiction, I was constantly in reactive mode to whatever environment I had going around. It was always trying to put out whatever fire was in front of me, and that's who I was in that moment. Well, as I've had the ability to take a step back now and give myself time to try and work that whole wise mind situation, still a work in progress, obviously, but now that I'm doing that, I can show up consistently no matter what the situation is. I can still just be me and not be the person that's reacting, and that's who people think I am in that moment, which is fantastic because we all have seasons of our lives and how we choose to show up. I'm seeing that I'm showing up as the same person every day, so all my personalities apparently are molding into one again, and I get to just be me.
So I love when people say that. I love when people say, like, ask themselves questions like you just said. Like, has he seen all of the different...
No, my friend asked me that actually,
Well,
which is
but
fantastic.
You know what I mean? And then you think about it, and then you have to turn that around, and you have to say, well, have I seen all of his? Like, you always have to, you can't just
Absolutely.
do it to yourself. Like, you
Oh.
have to turn it around, and you have to say it to the other person, like, the other point of view, too.
The other person is super
Yes.
stable and humble.
The other person, I'm I'm not even gonna lie. I love the other person to death, but I can't lie for that person. I wish the people in the audience could see my face right
I know you look disgusted.
She looks like she just smelled somebody's fart. It's kind of awkward.
I know that's. Wow. Well, the other
Tad,
the other
how
person.
was your week?
It was great till that point, but
I
no,
love
just
you.
kidding. Just kidding.
I love you.
I mean, so I was sick, but it was good. Like, went to the apple orchard with
You were
my.
sick?
Yeah, me and Mandy got sick on the same day. About like.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's called mono.
Oh my God!
Good point.
Wow, that's not what it was, but that's fantastic.
When I was growing up, that's called the kissing disease.
Oh my gosh, you're on. You're
Mono.
on. I'm impressed. But anyways, so we went to the apple orchard with her kids, and that was pretty cool. And then after we dropped the kids off, me and her went to the candy store because that's.
I still haven't broken that to them yet either, that we went to the candy store after they got dropped off. So I'm going to get tons of guff for that. That's going
Where's
to be
my
fantastic.
candy?
Right there.
We are eating it
Yeah,
right now.
Yeah, and I spent a little bit of money on candy. We won't talk about that.
Was it the biggest candy store ever? That
yes,
candy store?
yes. Yeah.
I'm about to be 40 and I've never been there.
I'll
Oh
take
well, we
you.
should go. Yeah.
We'll have a date. We'll
plan
have a
trip.
date day. It's
We'll plan
okay.
a trip.
We'll ditch Tad.
Just don't crash into the
I
side
got
of
you.
the building.
Yeah.
I remember that.
So I mean, and then Monday we were on the couch together, sick, and then it was back on the grind after that. So back to work and all that stuff, and I don't know the stuff that's happened this week. There was losing some friends and going to a funeral and got this event tomorrow, and it's just I'm gonna be busy all the way till the end of next week. Till next Monday. I got a couple
You're going to
days.
be busy till next Monday?
Yeah, like I'm just going on a stretch where I'm busy, but the twins are almost done, and then work will normalize, and I got club stuff, and I got something going on every day except for Monday and Tuesday, and I plan on sleeping and going to my home group. But it's just been a busy stretch, and that's my life goes like that. Where I'm, my life goes where I'm.
Yeah,
super,
I was about to ask you, so when is your life not busy?
I had a month, like a month ago, where I was not busy for a while.
What? Where was I?
Doing your own
I
thing.
must have been busy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's how life is, and that's why we got to make time for people. So we're gonna do Elena's segment with Mandy. Do you have anything or no?
I never have anything.
So Elena
this.
talks about self-love. So some tips for self-love with Mandy this week. Self-care.
No, you don't have to, Mandy.
I know
We're going to
this.
keep it short and simple this week. So this week, I'm just going to tell you guys, so one of the things that I've been doing this week, which is something that I just want everybody to do, is to do something for yourself, whether it be go for a walk and do something and it doesn't even have to be something that costs money. I know a lot of people don't want to spend money and they don't want to do things like that, but go do something for yourself. Like one of the things that I love to do is I live by the Coon Rapids Dam, so I go for walks down at the Coon Rapids Dam. There's nothing more exciting to me than just going down to the dam and listening to the water. Like, I love water. Or go and take your kids to the park.
I used to go to the dam all the time when I lived there when I was a kid. It was
Yeah,
relaxing.
it's absolutely amazing. I mean, pretty
It's a damn
soon,
good time.
it's a
damn good time.
pretty
Way to
soon
go,
the
Eric.
leaves. Unfortunately, we didn't get enough rain this year, so if you don't get out soon and look at the leaves are just going to fall off the trees and die. So get out and look at those leaves before they are all gone, because they're going to start changing colors soon. Like, get out and do something for yourself. Put your phone away. Put everything away and just go out and enjoy it.
I have someone in my life when I'm not putting my phone away, she slaps my hand now.
But then your TikTok kind of goes vacant.
I love TikTok.
Oh man. So
I'm addicted to
Are
TikTok.
we ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
So without further ado, we're gonna chop it up, but I'm gonna give this man an introduction.
Introduction.
Yeah.
Who
So
are we
this
talking about?
this is a man who is a big part of the Sober
Where?
Fit Club. I'm gonna screw the titles up.
Sober
by the way,
Fit.
he's something to do with literature. What's
Sober.
that title?
Well, the official title is I represent, I get to be the Area 36 Southern Minnesota literature and Grapevine Lavinia committee chair.
So he's that. He's a TikTok master, and he's pretty involved in the, what is that meeting on Thursdays? Spiritual Solutions
Wow,
late
let's
night.
call Spiritual Solution 9:30 here at 2218.
And he's always been a sympathetic ear and a great advice giver to one Tad Ackerman since he wandered in the program. He's one of my program idols. He's humble and he's funny as hell and he does a lot of service work. He's the guy who suggested I give a service work sponsor. And let's welcome Eric. You're the first person to get an intro ever.
Oh, thank you.
Like that.
I feel honored.
Yeah, I feel kind of left out.
Now everyone else is mad at me too.
Maybe next week.
I feel kind of left out. I thought I was your better best friend.
You are, and that's why we're
There's
treating
always-
people
there's
better
always,
now
next
because you're
week.
here, so we're better
The
now.
next show. Wait, how often do we do? Once a month?
No, we do this every Friday.
Every Friday. Okay.
We do this every Friday.
Heck
Every
yeah.
Friday.
This keeps me sober on Fridays.
You know what keeps me sober is my men's meeting every Friday night at 7:30.
Oh, night.
It's the Beltline Groups, which is currently now, it's not on Beltline Boulevard anymore. It's in Hopkins on Jackson Avenue. We had to move because due to the light rail and everything else, the ownership the building we were in, new ownership, they're going to tear the building down. After 38 years, we've had that meeting there.
Oh man.
Now you gotta change the
38
name.
years. No, we're not going to change it.
No, they didn't change the name of Jitters when Jitters moved
We're
here.
not going to change it.
Really?
Yeah, Jitters was named Jitters because that was the name of the coffee establishment that they went to. So,
Yeah.
like what?
You know,
I always
people
thought
know-
it was called that for something else.
Oh my God! Wow.
Well, there's that jitters too.
She's not wrong. She's not exactly wrong.
I mean, my first experience going to jitters.
Oh, beyond.
Beyond.
Exactly. Yes, beyond
Yeah.
jitters.
And Jacob,
Exactly, it's the beyond jitters.
Jacob in the corner with the jump shot. For three. Oh my gosh.
Little Stephen Curry there.
Right. Jacob Curry. That's your new name. Oh.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
the first time I went to Beyond Jitters was a Friday night meeting. My very first sponsor took me there, and I was like, not only am I not plugged in.
You're quiet?
Can you hear me?
He's gonna fix it. So if we're having trouble hearing Eric, we're just see if you can get in the mic a little more. And Elena, direct.
I'm not used to this. I've got a different kind of mic at home, so. Can you hear me? Yeah, no. Better? Worse? Could have been worse?
So
How we
what
doing?
we'll do is we'll switch spots. You and I are gonna switch spots.
Go steal Chad's spot.
And Elena's gonna mess with it. She fixed it. And you talk.
Talk, Manny.
Okay. Yeah. Put me on the spot. Fantastic.
So, anyways, Eric.
Technical difficulties.
Yep. No worries. Thank you for bearing with us. You do a lot of stuff, dude.
I'd say a few things.
Well, what do you want to talk about first? Sober Fit Club, your TikToks,
I
how you
mean-
your journey. The floor is yours.
Yeah, the floor is mine.
Yes.
You know, honestly, the one thing that kind of comes to mind, you know, and hearing the banter already tonight is one thing that always is the best thing to talk about is fun and sobriety.
Oh yeah.
You know, I don't know if you guys know about a Grapevine magazine, which, you know, I've got a few
Been
of the
around
books.
forever.
I know, right? Since 1944,
Yep.
exactly. But here's all the wonderful book on it. But every April, the theme is fun and sobriety. So there's always good stories and good things about fun and sobriety in April. Where actually I read over some old stories. One story was called the 30-minute rule. Can you hear me better? Is that better? It was called the 30-minute rule. It's a story about a member who would bring in a tin of chocolate chip cookies to her meeting. And one time, you know, that she was setting it all up, and then someone came and knocked all the cookies on the ground.
Oh no.
And then she's like, oh, I got to throw they're on the ground. They're dirty. You know, what are you going to do? She turns around and scoop them up. Every single person in the meeting just picks them up and is like, 30-minute rule.
Ah,
It's an AA meeting. It's like, we don't care. So that got me thinking. I'm like, so I had a similar experience. You know, I go to a Sunday Night Grace meeting on Sunday nights at 7 o'clock, which is now at 3501 Aldrich Avenue currently. And I was always known for my baked goods. You know, making cakes, making cookies, especially if it was your sobriety anniversary, I'd bring a cake.
Oh man.
Ooh, we
to
can
the
be
point-
friends.
What?
We can be friends.
I know, right? So many people. It's like I can literally be cutting the cake and it's gone by the time I'm done cutting the cake. But it's like it got me thinking that story and my experience of bringing cake to that meeting, and how people just cherish, you know, good snacks. You know, that's what we in Alcoholics Anonymous. That's what we do. We like snacks. We like sugar. And so they got me thinking. I typed up my story, my experience, submitted to the Grapevine. So that's to be stay tuned as the editorial committee will review that. So, but yeah, so that's not published yet. So just wait.
Oh, so you're gonna get that story in there?
Yeah, I did submit it. It's quite, you know, anyone can submit a story. You can submit, there's a caption contest in the Grapevine. So you can submit a caption, you can submit jokes. Wonderful jokes. We like jokes.
We'll have some jokes on the show
oh,
later.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you wanna,
We do it. If you got some jokes, oh, he's gonna get some jokes,
Oh, boy.
folks.
No, maybe I don't. Maybe, no, I don't have my Grapevine on me.
You told me some jokes the last time we were talking. You put
Which ones
you.
did I tell you?
I don't remember. I don't remember, right? But I know you pulled
Yeah,
pulled
I
some
don't know.
up and there were some jokes, and they were funny. And I
Uh,
told one of them on here and didn't source you as a credit.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
can't, yeah.
I couldn't remember where I got that joke from, but and I've heard.
I'm
some
getting old.
other-
I'm getting old. I can't remember.
Right. And when I have a busy day, I forget, or you know, sometimes I just like to hog all the attention. Whatever the case may
Yeah.
be.
But no, like fun and sobriety. So the whole idea of fun and sobriety. When I first got sober in 2009, I did exactly what everyone told me. You know, go to meetings, get a sponsor, be of service. You know, I did all that. By year 4, I'm like, I'm just going nuts, crazy. Like, what else is there to do? You know, I'm going to the same meetings. I work the steps. I'm of service to the maximum 10th power, and I'm like, what am I missing? And the one thing I forgot was, you know, we talk about Rule 62. Oh, thank you. We talk about Rule 62. Don't take yourself so damn seriously.
I have a hard time with that sometimes.
right?
That's why I have my mischievous mustache that I
Oh,
wear
nice.
on my
There
finger.
you go.
It's
A
my mischievous
mustache.
mustache.
And so around year 4, I'm like, I got to do something different. I switched up my meetings and found a different side of the fellowship. You know, I started going to more uptown, downtown Minneapolis meetings, got out of the western suburbs, found people more my age.
Right.
And then, especially around that time, is we started Sober Fit Club, which is now Sober Fit Club Minneapolis. It's a private Facebook group that we have. What do we have? Over 1.4K membership. To this day, I don't know like who's still part of it. We get on average like maybe 20 people. that
Before
come.
the pandemic, it was a lot more than that.
Oh yeah, it'd be a lot more.
Are you just doing volleyball, or are you guys back to doing other stuff? 'Cause
We have tried to alternate volleyball and kickball.
but we're not
No
doing
one
kickball
wants
anymore.
to play kickball. You know, it's
And
great.
before the pandemic, you and
I know.
Why not?
right,
Well, we
and,
need more people like you. It's like
and
we
before
need
the
more.
pandemic, you and I were talking about setting up flag football for that.
We've done, and we have done that in the past. The tricky thing about doing like sober athletic events or anything if sports related is the money issue. It's you want to find something that incorporates 10, 20 people, 30 people.
And it's
It
cheap.
doesn't exclude people. You know, it's like, even though we kind of joke and, you know, it's Sober Fit Club, but we also have the Sober Tan Club. You know, we encourage you, if you don't like to play sports, just come hang out, chill.
I like
you
playing
know.
sports, but I've gone there and just smoked cigarettes the whole time. And,
Exactly,
and
just
sat
go-
on
That's
the
what you
couch.
do everywhere you go, Tad.
I mean, she's not wrong, but
Yeah, but you're in a different environment. You're on a lake.
yeah.
So there you go. You
Yeah.
can smoke
And-
cigarettes.
Don't
and I'm
co-sign
dressed
on-
in
don't
ath-
co-sign
and-
for
And
him.
I'm dressed in athletic apparel, so I look fit.
Perfect. You
Right.
know?
No, I could still step on the court and spike
And
on
you know
you,
what?
Matt.
You can always compete with me with the shortest shorts.
I
you know.
mean, that's not really my thing, but you win there.
Oh, okay. Well, I keep that tradition up from another member who helped start Sober Fit Club. He'd always show up with the short shorts, and he and his husband moved out of state, and so I was like, I got to keep that tradition alive. So I went to Goodwill, found these really short pair of short shorts, and
You only have one?
what?
I thought you had multiple.
I do actually, and then I'm a fan of Lululemon, and it's like I found on their clearance rack a pair of 4-inch inseam Lululemon shorts. Dude, they're the best. The best.
Elena just, you should
What's Lululemon? First of all, I'm wearing. I know it's in.
Elena's
Speak-
dying. Oh my god.
I know it's hard in the sobriety, in the recovery community. It's like, we talk about money and sobriety, and it's like, yeah, Lululemon can be quite pricey, and I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
Right.
It took me a few years to kind of, and a few friends to work at Lululemon to like, just be like, hey, I get a free shirt. And like, they tossed me a free shirt. That was the freebie. It's like, when.
And then that's how they get you.
Exactly.
That's how
First
they get
one's
you.
free.
Yeah, first one's free. That's how they
like-
get you.
Yep.
That's an old drug dealer trick.
My favorite
Yep.
four-letter word. Free.
And then
Right.
you're like, wow.
That's my
this
brand name.
Lululemon is,
Brand name of choice.
Oh,
There you go.
right? With some short shorts.
Hey, I
coming
know
in.
how to sniff out the clearance
You have the
rack.
short shorts. If they have dresses
Yeah.
with
Oh
pockets,
yeah,
I'm in.
yeah.
Dresses with pockets.
I went
That's all
to
I need.
what was the name of that place you took me to? The Hoidiest to Toity department store.
Oh, Von Mar.
Von Mar.
Mar. Ooh.
Pinky out. You have
So,
to walk
and-
with your
and-
Wait, but
nose
did
way
you go
up
to
in the air. It's
outlet mall
fantastic.
version? Isn't there a
No, they have 2 locations in Minnesota that I know of. They have one in Eden Prairie and they have one at in Rosedale.
Okay, I've seen the rose.
It was the department store, and it was fancy smancy. And so let me paint this picture for you. The women have Mandy is a clearance lady, like she knows how to get discounts. The women's clearance shoe is the size of this
We had a room.
place.
There's a room just
Men
for
have a
women's
rack
clearance shoes.
this
It's
big for their
fantastic.
clearance shoes. I was so disappointed, but so I had sliders. We know what those are, sandals.
Yep. I thought you were
Under Armour, and they were like $60 sandals, $50-$60 that my mom had got me, but they're worn out. They have
Yeah.
the memory foam, great.
Yeah.
I find them in that little, in my size, I find the same ones for $17.
Beautiful.
But it gets better. I go to
Wait for it.
Well,
Wait
well,
for
they
it.
check them out.
It's like-
$8, $8 for this $50-$60 pair of sliders.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's like me shopping at H&M.
So she can have her room, and I'll take my $8 sandals.
Beautiful.
Champagne
Oh, I love
taste on a
those
Kool-Aid
deals.
budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's the best kind of deal.
Yeah.
You go in there and spend
One day
17.
hanging out hoity-toity places with Mandy, I found the discounts. I know all about it now. I'm an expert.
Almost.
By accident.
He's working on it. Working on it. Keep coming back, Ted.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about sobriety. Is you get the chance to look for those good deals and have fun with that.
Well, you
You
get to
know?
have fun
Yeah,
while doing
exactly.
stuff that wasn't fun.
You know,
man.
you get to appreciate that. Well, like speaking of Lululemon, it's like there a lot of the men's stuff. Most people think it's only for women, only for women. It's like, like some of the pants I have, I call it an investment. I've had them for like 7 years, and they still like practically brand new. They're wonderful. I'll never, I'll still go to other stuff, but wear other things. But it's just wonderful clothing, and I don't want to diverge too much into Lululemon here. Who knows?
Maybe
you
you'll
know,
get a
kickback?
sponsorship.
Hey.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So I mean, that was part of like one of my TikTok ideas was to do more TikTok videos incorporating that, and maybe Lululemon would like give me a little.
You never
kickback.
know. Weirder stuff has happened.
Exactly.
So, hey, what's up with your TikTok stuff?
That I'm still trying to work with. So actually, my recovery sponsor, he's also on TikTok. So that's really how I work my program. So I work my steps with him through TikTok in a way. So in other words, I stay in touch with him, and we kind of use TikTok as our catalyst to working the program or working my program. Because he's also on TikTok, and he's got way more followers than I do. He's been on it for longer than I. But I've been more incorporating my sobriety, my recovery into my TikTok, where I'm trying to get to that 1,000 followers so I can go live, and I can kind of also incorporate cooking into it, and to more sober cooking.
Right.
Because I don't know if you guys know, there's a cookbook out there called Sober Kitchen.
I
It's
have
by-
heard of it, and
You've
I
heard
have
of it?
seen it, but
I
I've
haven't
never.
heard of it, no.
I'm not a
Chef
cook, so.
Liz Scott. That's who wrote it. it's really kind of cool. She talks about her experience working in kitchens. She's got recipes. She's got all kinds of like myths and things that people. She kind of debunks them, talks about it, especially in recovery. We talk about cooking with alcohol.
That's the first thing that came to my mind when I think of like sobriety and cookbook kind of situation, because I mean,
Yeah.
that's one of those things like, okay, it calls for white wine. What do I do?
Well, there's so many different ways you can do it, because in all reality, she even talks about it too, is to really get rid of the alcohol, you have to let it like simmer. You have to cook that out for like an hour or two. And at that point, it's like whatever you're cooking is pretty much gonna be fried. So you have to be doing like a stew in the oven to kind of really cook it off. But like if it calls for red wine, grape juice, you can do a lot of things just using vinegar, mixing vinegar in with it to
Okay.
incorporate that, like instead of the alcohol.
What
But
about
it-
whiskey? What can you replace whiskey
Dude,
with?
you can easily put a little ounce of whiskey in your milk and
Whiskey's
put it in.
disgusting.
Oh my gosh, you went there. I meant for cooking. What could you replace? You went to the big book story. Some people aren't going to know that.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so now you got to
Oh,
explain that.
There you go. Oh, come on. If I go out to try to sell a car out there, yeah.
So in the big book, there's a story, and we'll just summarize it. And the guy gets whatever, so he decides that if he has one shot of whiskey with a glass of milk,
Yep.
that'll be okay.
Because he goes out to sell a car to someone he knows, and he knows his sell a car to, and he sits down at the bar to have a sandwich. It's lunchtime, and it's like, I'm having a glass of milk, which I don't know about you, but I don't drink milk. I don't go out to eat and have a glass of milk anymore. But he gets this thought in his mind that if I put an ounce of whiskey in my milk, it's gonna be okay. And then so he does that, puts a shot of whiskey in the milk, takes it, and goes, "What happens if I have another one?" And that.
And the moral of the
proceeds
story
whole-
is he gets drunk and he releases the vicious cycle again.
And that's exactly.
So that's
Which
what
is-
Eric was referencing, that and the insane stuff we do. But what I was trying to say is there's lots of recipes that call for whiskey.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if there was a whiskey replacement,
It
non-alcoholic.
really just comes down to what you're cooking, and then it comes down to like, especially in my experience, I just avoid. If I'm cooking something and it says use whiskey or use red wine, most of the time you can basically omit it from the recipe.
Yeah.
You don't really need to use it. But that's why like vinegar is a white wine, or not white wine, white vinegar is the best thing to add anything to. Not a lot, but you can add that with something to kind of give it that same aspect.
Hell yeah.
So
Were you going to try and see if that mic worked?
I
Or?
don't know if it is working.
Well, just randomly say a couple things, a couple yeahs and uh-huh, and
Yeah,
agree
uh-huh,
or disagree.
Yeahs and uh-huhs.
Yeah.
And then you can see if it works. And we'll keep our conversation.
it's like, is it better?
It's working now.
There you go.
So, Elena, start asking Eric questions so we can make sure it works, and then we'll get all back in our spots.
Yeah, what would you like to know?
What would I like to know? I don't cook.
You don't cook? Why don't you cook? What's holding you back?
I have to find time.
Yeah, that's fine time. Okay. I,
Well, I get by the time I get home, it's 6 o'clock.
yeah.
And if I get home and I change and I go to a meeting, it's 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then I get home at like 8:30. I want to go to bed.
Yeah.
I gotta get up for work in the morning.
I'm going to introduce you to my mom. She's going to tell you all about her air fryer and all the things she can do. She makes I'm serious. I'm
Air
pretty
fryers.
confident that she's going to like make cereal like in the morning, like a bowl of cereal with her air fryer at this point. But the time frame that it takes and like health-wise, all the benefits from it, I get like educated every time she puts something
Plus,
in the air
I'm
fryer.
like really bad at I don't eat breakfast. I drink coffee, and I eat lunch at work, and then I drink more coffee, and then I
Okay.
drink like a gallon of water a day, so I'm not really hungry for
And,
dinner.
and a can of, what is that, Monster juice?
I probably won't even drink that right now. I'll drink it tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, that's really the meals of someone in recovery. I'm
Yeah.
the same way. No it's like rarely do I eat breakfast, coffee.
If I eat breakfast, I just want to go back to sleep
Yeah.
because it makes me tired.
I don't
Food coma.
like pancakes. How do we slide that out? It's like,
Yeah.
if I eat pancakes, I'm gonna just go back to bed and start my whole morning
Yeah,
over.
It's like eating turkey on Thanksgiving.
yeah, exactly. No, I mean I'm always known for whipping things up. You know, I don't really when I go to the grocery store, I don't buy like $400 worth of groceries. You know, I'm like a New Yorker. I just go hit the market, pick up a few things, you know, the staple items. You know, if I can keep some of the staple items like bread, milk, juice, cheese, maybe some deli meat, I can literally go in my fridge. Actually, right now, I can go in my fridge and I can just whip a quick little snack just to hold me over. Doesn't have to be a gigantic meal by any means, but I can just go in there and whip anything up if I just keep it in the pantry and not have to get something that needs to be made next 3 days. You know, just keeping the staple items.
See, and I can do that. Like I buy I love turkey, so I do
Yeah.
that. But
Turkey's
I'll go
good.
home and I'll throw a steak on the stove for my kid.
Yeah.
But that's for my kid. Like
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
you-
not the.
I can see that. You'll totally caretake your kid and be a good
Yeah.
mom or care.
But like I'm not.
If you had people coming over,
Yeah.
you'd cook. But if it's just for you, you ain't doing that
No.
shit.
I'm
Do
not
we need to
doing that.
revisit the whole self-care part of the program?
I was gonna say
That,
this
that's
is-
Elena.
the self-care lady.
That's it. Like
But hey,
the
hey,
biggest meal that I cooked was the day of
We all
school.
have
the
our
first
things.
day of school. My kid loves no name steaks, so I made her a whole bunch of little no name steaks, and I made salmon because I love fish. So I made salmon because she won't eat it, and we sat down and we had a meal together. And she talked about her first day of school. Like
that's cool.
I don't flip and cook, and we've talked about it because my oldest moved out. And she never would eat with us. My oldest kid goes out to dinner every single flippin' day.
That gets
And
costly.
So we've talked about it, and we've talked about cooking at home so many days a week. But we just life's busy.
Right?
Well, it's
It'll probably be easier in the wintertime.
Yeah. Well,
When
that's
it
the biggest takeaway of COVID is like, you know, when the restaurants were shut down, it kind of forced us to have to learn to
Yeah, and we did
self-delivery.
when
Yeah.
COVID was here. Like we did, but now.
Dinner at my house, it's not even about necessarily the food. I mean, I don't care whatever it is that gets thrown on the table. It's about
Yeah.
the time that you get to spend with the people that you care about
Yep.
and get to understand, okay, how was your day? What was great about it? What wasn't great about it? That's one of my favorite parts of the day is getting to do that with people that I care about, whether it's friends, family, anyone.
Good
And
point,
to be
good
honest,
point.
like
Heck yeah.
when, like 5 years ago, when my ex and I split up, my kids went through a phase where they would at dinner time. I used to cook for my kids all the time, and they went through a phase where they would come out and get their meal and take their meal to their room because they wanted to just be alone. Well, I got sick and tired of eating alone, so I stopped eating dinner because I didn't want to eat alone.
That
Yeah.
kind of made that. So that's where it
Yeah.
started. That makes
So
sense.
I just don't even. I just stopped eating dinner.
Yeah.
Hey man, if you ever wanna, why don't we have it once a month dinner thing?
I don't know. I'm gonna do Friends Christmas again this year.
I thought you were
That
saying
was
you're gonna
awesome.
make French
Christmas
toast.
number 2.
I'm down.
Number 2,
Number 2.
French
Yeah.
Christmas?
Friends.
Christmas.
Friends.
Friends
It was
Christmas.
Friendsmas.
I'm like, French
Yeah,
Christmas?
Friends-
What's that?
last year I had a friend. It was the very first Friendsmas at my house, and there was about 30 of us.
I shall.
nice.
I shall be there again.
Yeah.
Do you also do Friendsgiving?
Well, my sponsor does Friendsgiving, so I go to her house for.
Oh, okay, gotcha. It's like a progressive holiday thing.
Yes.
One does the Friendsgiving, you do the Friends
Well-
Christmas. Was
Well,
that-
Two
if-
years
I don't
ago
know
we
if-
did.
I don't know if my sponsor's listening
Friends-
right now, but I didn't really invite her to Friendsmas last year, so
Uh-oh.
she was kind of mad.
Uh-oh,
So
here it
she,
comes.
Oh, no.
So she has to get the first invite to Friendsmas this year.
Oh, so that's why you declined when I invited myself.
I'm gonna start new friends here for January.
Bit-
So I got to make sure to invite her first.
I mean, so
I'm throwing down on that.
you know what I did 2 years ago? Because on Thanksgiving we did Tom Hanksgiving because Mr. Rogers was out.
Oh,
And it was
yeah,
with
that's
the Jitters
right.
guy. Me
That
and
was 2
Sid and a
years
couple.
ago.
Yeah,
Yep, yep.
weren't you there? Or no?
No, I don't think I
No,
was.
but so we had the Thanksgiving here. I didn't go home for family, and then I went back to the sober house, and then I met up with a bunch of people from Jitters, and we did Tom Hanksgiving. And we watched the Mr. Rogers movies, and we hung out. It
What
was
made?
awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what made it Tom Hanks? Did you
Because-
watch all Tom Hanks movies?
No, we just went and seen a Tom Hanks movie in the movie theater together.
Oh, gotcha.
It was the
Okay.
Mr. Rogers movie,
Yeah.
A Beautiful Day in the Night. So
Oh,
that,
nice.
it made it Tom Hanks. But you can watch any Tom Hanks movie on Thanksgiving, and it's Tom Hanks giving. I guess that's a thing. I didn't know that.
Why can't I picture
Well-
Tom Hanks right now?
I mean, you could do anything at giving.
What?
You can go to Drake's giving.
Big?
Yeah.
Big.
I mean, so like when I get my own place,
They just
Tom
do a big
Hanks giving
shrimp
might be a
barbecue.
thing.
Duly
Some
noted.
crawfish or
Yeah.
crawfish boil. You know.
Shrimp soup, shrimp
Right.
stew.
Dude, the possibilities are endless with Tom Hanks giving.
Yeah.
And you only got to do one
was in
movie. You don't
everything.
have to go on a marathon.
He's like,
Wait, is that the guy with the is that the guy that was in the movie with the
Oh my
with the
God.
soccer ball?
Yes, that is
Yes.
the same.
Castaway.
Wilson.
Wilson.
One of the most
Wilson?
decorated actors of all time.
Okay.
Wait, that guy?
She
Now I
remembers
know who he is.
Castaway?
She's like the guy with the
Apollo
volleyball.
13,
Was
Okay.
it-
Forrest Gump.
Now
Was
I
a
know
son?
who he
Yeah, a
is.
son called Colin Hanks. Do you know Colin Hanks?
Nope.
I always thought he looked like Tom Hanks, and then I found out that was his kid, so it made sense.
That
He
makes
looks a
sense.
lot like Tom Hanks. Oh my gosh,
He was in American Pie.
he was.
I don't remember him in that. And I gotta go and check that out.
He's the one that was that's Stephanie's mom.
No, that's another one.
Uh,
Oh well,
Yeah.
we'll fact check
But-
people. Well, it doesn't matter. We go.
We're on a Hankstitude.
Yeah, right.
No,
So-
I mean you could do everything giving. It's like so. There's always Drake's giving and
So I mean, I guess what we're talking about is family and recovery and doing
Yeah.
things differently. So if
Yeah.
you don't have family to go for Christmas and or Thanksgiving, you can make a family.
oh, big time. Oh, but there, you know,
That's
with
fellowship.
with the fellowship is you can, you know, talk about whether it's friends Christmas or however you said it.
Friendsmas.
Thank
Friendsmas.
you. Friendsmas. Okay. Or Friendsgiving. It's like I've been a part of a few Friendsgivings with a few friends, and it's just kind of nice. Because I always joke whenever we have Founders Day, which always falls on Thanksgiving weekend, is I always talk about if you don't have family, you can always go to Founders Day and there's family right there. There's Friendsgivings events to go to.
Yeah.
You know, so and even if you have family, you want to get the hell away
Stick
from them.
around long enough, and you will get a recovery family, and you'll have places to go.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
You know.
I remember when I said I wasn't going to Friendsmas last year.
His first movie was Orange County. That's my fault. Orange County was.
Orange County, yeah, with Jack Black.
Yep.
So, and I was told no by people, Elena's people, by the way. So
No to what?
I said I wasn't going to go to Friendsmas because
Oh, gotcha.
And it was my people. I bet it was Tim.
no, I was
I
told.
bet
I was
Tim
told.
said you had to
No, no, you told me I had to go. I told
Did
you
I?
I didn't know if I was going to go. I said it privately, and I said I just don't know. You know, I do a lot of stuff, and I was being a weirdo about it, and you were like, "I'm going to be hurt if you don't come," and I said, "Oh, okay, I guess I'm coming." Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I knew there'd be tomfoolery like there was, and I didn't want to be a part
Yeah.
of it.
Well, there's always tomfoolery when you get a bunch
Well,
of
yeah, we won't talk about
there
it.
was tomfoolery.
Yeah, there was tomfoolery.
big time to the
I don't-
max.
I don't usually invite people over to my house because that's my safe zone.
That's how.
So
you know,
she
with
was
my
out of
house,
her
too. It's
comfort
like,
zone.
So I was out of my comfort zone, and some of my tomfoolery
Yep.
friends decided it would be funny to TP my backyard.
Oh yeah, yeah, and like,
Oh
And
yeah.
I might have lost it.
Is that pun intended?
I
well,
don't-
well. So, and here's the deal: half of us were like, half of them were like, do it, and I was like, yeah, this would be great, but it's not going to. But everyone who was in the other half were like, Elena's gonna lose it because this. They explained why, and then Elena came out, and I don't think she lost it.
I didn't lose it. I said, clean this shit up now.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
what I
think you
said,
lost
too.
it. You didn't.
I
No,
cleansed
no,
up.
hey, no one died. No one got hurt, and you expressed how you felt, and we moved on.
Yep.
There you go. Did it get cleaned up?
Yes,
Yes,
it did.
it did. If she wouldn't
That's-
have done that,
that's
then she
pure
would've had
service
to
work
I
clean it.
right
live in
there.
a very respectable neighborhood. You will
And
not
she
be
asked
leaving
us to be
toilet paper in
respectful.
my trees.
Yeah, and
There
she
you go.
asked us.
There you
The
go.
one thing she asked is that we be respectful of her neighbors in her yard
Yes.
when she got there.
Yep.
So like, I mean, that game
Yeah.
was fun.
The
Oh, yeah.
TV game.
We played this game where you like hold your phone up to your forehead. And
Oh,
it's
flip
got,
it?
Like, yes, flip
Or-
it.
is that what it's
something
called?
Like that.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
you,
yeah.
You guess.
Yep.
You give clues and then yeah.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
Oh my gosh.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
Well, have you ever played Loaded Questions?
What's
That's
loaded
another.
question?
That's another game where it doesn't actually require your phone. It's actually over the years I've played with a few friends at game night. Basically, when you get to know people really well, especially in recovery,
Oh God, is it naughty?
it can.
Yes.
It
just
can get.
it depends on the
you know-
people. So if you're playing, yes.
Because when you put in your answer for the loaded question, the question comes out, they read the question, you have to put the answer down, and it's like kind of like Cards Against Humanity. But this is, they put the question out, you write in the answer, and you submit it in, and it, depending on who you're playing with, it can get pretty nasty. It can be, yeah.
So they came out with this game called That's What She Said,
Oh, I've heard of that. I've
and
seen
I
that
bought
one.
it for my kids. I know that's terrible, but I bought it for my kids because they wanted it.
It's not terrible.
And my kids they're almost adults,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
So I bought it for my kids, and I opened it up, and I'm
Did you
reading
play it
these
with them?
things. And no, and I'm reading them, and I'm like, oh my God, this is my life. These are the things that I say to people.
How did that make you feel? That your life was.
I'm
That you're
like, oh my
play-
gosh, like I say this when people say things. I'm like, that's what she said. Like, oh my God, this is terrible.
Oh, I thought
Was
you
it-
meant
did you have
using
a
your life
self-reflection?
playing. That's what she said with your kids.
No.
Oh,
No.
But I did, so like we'll get together like a bunch
Yeah.
of recovery people and we'll
Yep.
play games like that, like That's What She Said or Cards Against Humanity, and it's flippin' hilarious because
yeah.
we literally, like, people think that people that are sober and clean can't have fun. Oh my gosh,
Oh,
I've
yeah. That's
never
not true
had
at all.
more
No, not true.
fun.
And we
being
remember
clean and
that
sober.
shit now.
And we do.
Yeah.
Now, it's something we don't want to remember it.
I mean, and
right.
like, sometimes
Yeah.
I hear people often say, we might be the wildest ones here. So that might be true, but the flip side of that
Yeah.
is if we go to your bar and make a mess, we're probably going to clean it up because we're
Exactly.
accountable to our actions now.
Exactly.
So while we might be the wildest ones there,
Yep.
which can also be true, we're also going to, if someone needs help while we're there, we're going to help them. If we make a mess, we're going to clean up our actions because that's the life we live.
Yep.
But we still have fun. We still get
Yeah.
that. What is our favorite things to do as alcoholics and addicts, even though we're in recovery? Fucking party.
Sleep.
Oh yeah. Well, and
I still like to party for
sleep
one.
and eat. We like to eat.
Yeah, but do you still like to party?
I really like to sleep now that I
No,
can sleep.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Jacob, you still like to party?
Yeah.
I call it playing instead of,
Yeah.
it's not even party, it's playing.
Playing?
It's yes, because as we grow up, we're conditioned to like forget how to play from the time.
Yeah.
One of the greatest
That's
things
one
that
of
I've
my
ever had
favorite
as a
things about
parent
you.
is watching the world again through my children's eyes, and it reminded me how to play. And through my addiction, I did it too. But I mean, in sobriety, I mean, getting to be lighthearted and have that
Yeah.
kind of childlike spirit, it's what makes things sparkle for me in life. I love it.
Some of us
Yeah.
in recovery even learn to like party and play by ourselves when there's no one else around. 'Cause it's so much fun by ourselves sometimes.
Sometimes you need an imaginary friend too. I'm just saying.
Okay. Yeah.
It'll get Ricky out of us.
It was me playing video games.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that. So her and I, that's one of the reasons why we connect so well because we can both be childlike.
Yep.
Oh, you're definitely childish, Dad.
Well,
Thanks. So
well, and that's one of the characteristics we all share. We're childish.
right.
We're grandiose and emotionally sensitive.
yeah.
I just want to set on the record that I really like Mandy.
So do I. So do I. We'll see how that goes.
Mandy looks like a child. She's so short.
Oh.
See,
she
short
doesn't
girls
look
are
like
more
a child.
grounded.
She's
That's
not
what it is. I'm
short.
closer to the ground, so
She's
I'm more
just fun.
grounded than most.
She's
is
fun
what it
size.
is.
But
Oh
so-
my gosh, really?
It's not
So-
short. It's vertically challenged.
Yeah.
There
So-
was no challenge.
I
It
know.
was. It
Oh my
wasn't a
God.
challenge.
So I mean, like, so we went on nature, and we're goofy, and we do
Yeah.
goofy stuff. Yesterday, well, not just yesterday. Many days we go to arcades and play video games.
Most because Chad,
Up, down?
Chad Drake's me kicking and screaming. He's like,
That's
"You're gonna
not
play
true at
games."
all. That's
no,
not-
and then I whoop
Where'd
your
you
butt,
play
and then
video
you're like,
games?
"Oh, I hate this."
That's not how it goes either. She's never beat me at a video game. That's,
Oh my gosh.
That's a lie.
Okay,
But
yeah, I was gonna say.
That's
Where'd
a
you
lie.
go
Catch me
play
outside.
video games? At Up Down?
Yeah.
Up, down, Blainebrook, anywhere we can.
There you go.
Pretty
is
much.
the answer.
Pretty much.
When we were up north, we played mini golf at this really cool place. So
Y'all
If-
that Facebook post.
that was,
It was
so
awesome.
We're
that-
up north.
we went up to
We camped at Gooseberry, and then we just drove north from there, and just like had a day all North Shore, went
we were
all the
gonna
way to
go.
Grand Marais, and it
we
was
were gonna
fabulous.
do hiking and stuff like that was the plan, but we had to go to the bathroom,
Yeah.
and we were gonna go in these porta potties, and she missed the parking lot, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere,
The very
appeared this
next
mini
turn.
golf place with goats.
They had
and
goats.
roosters and peacocks and
Oh, it was
I was like, we
fantastic.
need to play, and she's like, do we really need to play mini golf?
Even the people that were golfing next to us were hilarious. It was
Right.
just the best time ever. It
and I
was
was like,
great. It was
yeah.
so entertaining. Yeah.
If you want to know a good mini golf place just like that, that's closer than up north, go out to Big Stone Mini Golf. It's out in Minnetrista. It's a so there's it's a retired sculpture artist, and he has
Oh.
land out there, and he took all of his old sculptures and he turned them into like 15 holes. And so all the holes are his old sculptures. Like one of them is an upside down boat with like kind of really cool, and that's the hole. The first hole, it's horrible because it's all these like Stonehenge looking things, and you have to hit. They're all next to each other. and
So
you
it's
have to
hard.
hit. It is. It's like you can't see, but it's fun, and you can walk around the grounds. He has other sculptures. He has traveling sculpture artists that
Wow.
come.
Oh, that
They have
sounds cool.
goats you can feed.
What's the name of that place?
Big Stone Mini Golf.
Big
so-
Stone Mini Golf.
Yep, it's out in Minnetrista. If you just Google.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna begin to tell you.
I just wanted you to
That
say it
sounds
again, so when me and her are gonna go there someday,
Yeah.
and we can't.
It's
remember
good.
It'll be on the podcast.
There we go.
Oh, don't go to the Walker one. That's way too. Oh, it's way too expensive.
Yeah, I heard it is pretty.
Oh, way too expensive.
You
and
got to
it's,
pay to
like,
get
not
into the
as fun.
walker, and then pay.
I mean, I think Big Stone. It's like maybe around $9 or $12. Something
that ain't
like
bad
that.
for
No, it's not
somewhere.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with what you can do, walk on the grounds, feed goats. Bring bug spray too.
I mean, and that's the thing. Like, look, man, when I got clean, I didn't know who I was, and I didn't know how to have fun. So I had to
Yeah.
try stuff, and some of the stuff I didn't think was going to be fun. And I've talked about that.
Yeah.
You know, and so my willingness to try new things with having fun was cool. I remember this was just last New Year's, right? When you kidnapped me? Because I needed
kid-
love. When you kidnapped me because I needed love.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what was going on, but I was having a funk, and we went to our meeting, and it happened to be New Year's Eve, and me and Elena were talking, and she's like, and I didn't want to do nothing, I didn't, and I had someone who was saying rumors about me, and it's even funnier that, but Elena's like, okay, there's a New Year's party, even during COVID, I'm kidnapping you. Didn't really want to do that, but she talked me into it. And like, you know, after 10 minutes in a car, me and Elena
Yeah.
cracking jokes and whatever. And Elena was like, F this, F that, you got this. And we're having a good old time. I'm ready to go party because I do love to party.
Yeah, of course.
No matter what I'm saying, and I'm trying to be a pouty boy.
Yeah.
You know. And a bunch of my friends were there, and there was Taylor Swift, and we had a great time.
No, Taylor Swift.
No, we danced to
The
Taylor
music,
Swift.
the DJ music.
Oh,
Yeah,
don't
I-
mess with Ted and his Taylor Swift. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What did I change the station? He almost I swear, I thought there was going to be an abusive situation. Oh my God. Yeah, no.
That was one
it
of
was
my
almost a fight
favorite.
situation.
That's one of my favorite me and you moments because, yeah, we went to New Year's Eve and then
Yeah.
I danced with John Sheely, slow dance, fast dance, with
slow
Taylor
dance
Swift.
to
Oh
who?
yeah, Taylor Swift. John,
Oh,
my
Taylor-
buddy, my buddy John and I
Oh,
danced.
gotcha.
Yeah, it was.
What Taylor song was it?
There was like 3 in a row. I asked my buddy, my buddy was DJing, and I asked him, and he gave me shit. A heck of a hard time, which sometimes happens when your favorite musician is Taylor Swift and you're a man. That happens sometimes. Haters gonna hate, you know, and
Yeah,
players
whatever.
gonna play, and
Just shake it off,
shakers
Dad,
gonna
shake it
shake,
off.
shake, shake. So I shake it off. But nonetheless, he played 3 songs because everybody got into it. When I DJ and I'm gonna play Taylor Swift, people talk shit too. And then guess what? Everyone's on the dance floor loving it.
You know what? If they give you shit, then we ain't gonna belong together.
Right.
Wait, is that the name of the song? Wait, no, that's not the name of the
We
song,
would
is it?
never, ever, ever
Ever.
be getting back
Be
together.
getting back together. Thank you. I was like,
So, here's a question.
But we could always go back to December if we had to.
You have a song for you make like our song?
Yeah.
ooh,
This
there
is
you
our
go.
song.
Yeah.
Our song's
Yeah.
a stream, you know. It's the
But sometimes
woods.
but you know what? Sometimes you just feel 22.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like I'm 22. We should probably get off this Taylor Swift kick before we have bad blood with some of our listeners.
What, you guys don't like Taylor Swift?
You're seeing our eyes glaze over.
It's funny how all the guys got giddy in the room during Taylor Swift.
Okay,
references. The
let's
girls
not.
are like, what the
We
hell
went from
is
Taylor Swift to how about Hanson?
Bob?
How many
That's
people
all I
remember
know.
Hanson?
Who are you?
This dude's awesome.
Worst boy band ever.
Hey, they were popular. They were popular
they had
when I was
another
in
song
junior
there,
high.
too.
I was in junior high. I was going through a phase with my friends where we grew up, and for those of you who are listening, you can't see you can see me. I had hair, and I tried to grow my hair. It got down to my chin. I remember walking to Wausau, Wisconsin, not in 8th grade, and Mbop and Hanson was big, and someone
Jacob
walks
left
up
his
and
phone.
goes, hey, what's up, Hanson brothers? And from that point, I was like, I'm cutting my hair.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
So you guys are gonna steer the show. I'm gonna go see if I can find Jacob on the property because he left his phone.
You probably went for a smoke.
Well,
He might be locked out if you didn't know.
okay. Well, then you have a skit to do.
You want me to do that first?
Yeah. Why don't you do that?
Yeah,
So-
skit.
You got an intro tidbits. with
Yeah.
Timmy.
So Timmy's not here, so I hope Timmy's listening. So today we're going to do tidbits with Tad.
A tad bit of this, a tad bit of that.
Oh Jesus.
Now called Tadbits.
Yeah. So, today, Elena's going to do dad jokes at the end because I didn't prepare any jokes. And Elena had me covered. Elena said, I got you, bud. I got you. She got you. I got your back. So, thank you, Goose. You like how I got to
You
be
know,
Maverick?
the best reference to get dad jokes is the Garrison Keeler Prairie Home Companion. There's a whole song on dad jokes.
So,
And I just actually heard it this afternoon when I was working on my kitchen. Yeah.
my tidbit for this is so I'm just gonna leave you with this thought. I watch a show, and I'm not gonna say what show it is, and I
Red
actually
Green?
listen to it on podcast. It's a sports show, so I'm gonna relate a segment because he talked about quarterbacks with this, but he talked about life. So about 80% once we're, and I'm not talking when we're in active use. When we're in active use, our shit's chaos. But about 80% of our life is we wake up, we go to work, we go to meetings, we do stuff. It's pretty easy. It's good. So it's pretty easy. The other 20%, it's about how we react. It's about how we act. So you can tell the people in your life about how they react or act. I was a very Elena might relate to this too. Both of us were very reactive people early on in our recovery because our emotions were still fresh, and a lot of people can relate to that. You know what? I'm still human, and once in a while I still get a little. Elena can testify. About a month ago, I reacted to her because I had to lash out because I was stressed out, so I had to do it with someone I cared to get attention. And so I used to do that all the time. But so our life, what determines how stable and unstable we are our actions and reactions. And the longer I'm in recovery, and the more that these principles, I practice them in all my affairs, and the more I surround myself with people, because I can surround myself with reactive people that are unstable and still be working the program, and I start getting those characteristics. I start getting impatient. I start getting manic. I start doing stuff that I already had in me because I still have that stuff in me. I can still be toxic as hell. So, I mean, and that's just my tidbits. So make sure that you're, it's good to meditate, and it's good to surround yourself with like-minded people and people who hold you accountable and people who want the same things. And, and that doesn't mean that we don't have a blow up. Like, how could I not have a blow up in my life? I manage 20 other guys at a sober house, and they're all starting to turn to the way of 21 and under. That's fun. 21 to 19, having to deal with a bunch of kids and that in recovery, that's wonderful all the time. I'm rolling my eyes. It is rewarding, too. I'm not saying that it sucks all the time.
Yep.
It's super rewarding. And, I bounce at a bar, and then I do security at the club. So I have to deal with complaints. And so there is areas. So obviously, once in a while, when I'm not in an authority figure, and I did this to Elena. She said a joke to me, and I had been going and not taking TAD time, not doing self-care. So she said a joke, so I flipped out, left I think I even said I was going to quit the show. And
He flipped. Threw
Uh,
his hands up in the air.
if I'd have said this about you, and you know, and
Gee, I feel sorry for the people that were your guests that night. That would have been awkward.
I
Yeah.
wonder- oh yeah. and
Yeah.
Randy
Being
was the
Gracie.
guest too. So they came into that. And that was because
Everybody storming around.
wasn't
I'm like, oh,
doing-
this is gonna be fun.
I wasn't doing the things that I'm talking
Yep.
about doing that week. But what had happened was we all sat down and talked, and I needed my time, and so then I chirped with Tim. But then Elena came and hugged me and said, I love you. And I would never say anything like that. Like, come on, you know this.
Yep,
and then
we hugged it out.
and like she had to get me in the eyes and be like, Tad. And then, you know, the guests, which was Mandy and Miss Gracie, they had to deal with that, with me and my tattitude, which still rears its face sometimes. So I'm not saying that I'm perfect.
We should get him a shirt that says tattoo.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
it's a-
gosh.
Christmas.
Anyways, so like I said, it's
Friends miss?
in that instance when I wasn't able to work my program and life was life and I didn't react because, and these incidents come less and less now. They're not every day. They used to be every freaking day with me. And they used to be once a week then. And they used to last months and then they used to last times. I would in the 5-10 minute period. And that was one of the worst ones in this year. But I had people. I had Tim, I had Elena, I had Mandy and Gracie, people that care about me, and they were like, Tad. They held me accountable when I wasn't able to hold myself accountable. So that's and that has been Tad Bits with Taddy, and now Elena has a couple dad jokes.
Okay, I got some dad jokes just for Timmy, but he's probably not listening anymore.
Wait, you said
He said
dad
he'll
jokes
too.
or dad jokes?
Dad jokes.
These are dad jokes. Okay. What do you call a cow with a twitch?
Oh my gosh, what?
Beef jerky.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
How does a moon cut his hair?
How?
Eclipse it.
Yes.
Eclipse it.
Yes.
Okay, this next one is the best one. I heard this and I almost died because it reminds me of recovery. And I know you're going to think it's weird because I say that it reminds me of recovery, but it does. And this guy is just amazingly hot. What happens when you touch Dwayne Johnson's butt?
What?
You hit rock bottom.
Yes. Yes. Woo. And that, you know what?
That was a mic drop.
There you go.
You just made Tad's night.
Jimmy wasn't here for it.
Oh my gosh. Hey, before we get back into the show with Eric, I heard we're having an all girl power, or should I say women's power, show next week.
All women's movement.
We're having an all bomb movement next weekend.
So there's going to be no males on the microphones other than Tidbits with
There's
Tad?
going to be no males talking at all.
Other than the Tidbits with Tad, right?
Timmy just commented.
That's,
did he say?
Tad, that's,
Love you, Timmy.
Love you, bud. We miss you. We hope you're having a good time out there. Oh,
Yeah, next week we are having, it's going to be myself and Mandy.
hosting.
Ladies Power
hosting.
Hour.
And then we are going to have my sponsor, Alicia, who is actually one of my best friends. She is first my sponsor, but she has been my sponsor for 3 years and has turned into one of my best friends. And then we have also my really good friend, Carla.
Okay.
Yay.
And they are both women with 10 plus years of sobriety. They both sponsor women. They do amazing things in recovery. And so they're going to be on the show.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be awesome.
The only man voice you're going to hear is me for Tidbits with Tad.
Yep.
That's it.
Otherwise, it's going to be highbrow.
and you'll be street. And you'll
Oh,
street-
wow.
That's it, because I'm going to bring rubber bands. And I'm going to shoot them at any man that talks. Rubber bands. Right at the eyeball.
You have the old rubber band gun?
I'm going to have little rubber bands. Pegging people.
You're really picking your spots, honey.
Aww. Oh, he pulled the
I'm playing. I'm
windows.
playing.
Honey,
Remember, as adults, we still need to play. I'm just playing.
Yeah,
What?
playing.
you remember it earlier in the show when we were outside and you guys came up to my car and we were talking and we're like, we're gonna put Mandy in front of a microphone and she's like, I don't want to talk. She hasn't shut up.
Oh, did I not say that though? I said that too. She's like, she's
She's like, I don't want to talk.
right.
Good impression of Mandy, actually.
Oh wow.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
What up?
but I love you.
Love you too.
I love you.
So Tim's, I'm gonna read Tim comment.
Yeah.
Rock bottom, you dork, and beef jerky. Come on. So I think
know
you
what?
need to.
Tim's hate right now.
Tim wants. So I think you need to get some more jokes next time.
You know what? That
Because
the rock bottom one was good. Tim only is talking crap because he's 800 plus miles
right.
away.
Well, that's what Tim does.
If he was here, he
He'd
would
still
be
be talking crap.
laughing and he would be joking with us. So Tim, we love you.
We love
We
you and we
hope
miss
that
you.
you're having fun on your little trip. We hope that you come back, but until you get back here and you're sitting in this room with us, we don't want to hear it.
Well, it's
So-
fun. I think it's fun. I think
So
it's
let's
fun,
go
Tim.
back to our guest here. So I might have missed it, but I'm just gonna ask you. So what is your sobriety date, your recovery date?
June 19th, 2009.
2009.
9.
Yep.
Okay.
9.
Yep.
All right. And it's 20. You said you went to the place in Hopkins.
Yep.
And where else do you go?
So Sunday Night Grace, Sunday night, 7 o'clock, which is 3501 Aldrich Avenue South. We're a hybrid meeting.
Okay.
It's a speaker discussion format. And then the Thursday night meeting, 9:30 here at 2218, called Last Call Spiritual Solution. So that's a bit of a smaller group. We used to be, when we first started that meeting, we were a Sahara Club. And it's ebbed and flowed over the years, where there were years where we had like 80 young people in that old Sahara Club room, just packed in with all the old couches. They had all the old couches, dim lighting, but they had Peace Coffee, which is some of the best coffee ever. Especially for an AA
It's
meeting.
all about the coffee.
It is. It's like most AA meetings. Like coffee's got to be done just right. Otherwise, they'll turn it away. If not, they'll still drink it. But currently in the last few years, it kind of has dwindled down a little bit. So yeah, if you're up late, 9:30 p.m., come check us out. And then my men's meeting on Friday night. So
Okay. And do you sponsor in the program?
I do.
Okay.
So I've got sponsees. I've got a sponsor, and then I've also got a service sponsor.
Okay, so
He-
explain. So Tad's talked about this before. So explain the service sponsor thing to me.
So there is actually a whole saying about it in the Q&A and sponsorship pamphlet about service sponsorship. But this is basically someone that, kind of like when you're finding a recovery sponsor to work the steps with, they have what you want. They take you to the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, and they hold you accountable. You're accountable to them. You call them when something comes up, something crops up. Service sponsor is when you get involved in service, they kind of help you to stay on task of that. So when you become a general service representative for your meeting or a committee chair, you can go to them with questions about that particular service of commitment.
Or-
What you do with your service sponsor, and so last year when I took out my service sponsor was, you go through the service manual. So most people don't
There's
know.
a manual.
There's a service
Yes.
manual.
Oh my.
And so, well, the service manual basically has all the job descriptions, what a GSR is, General Service Representative. It tells you
Elena
what
looks so
area
distraught
chairs.
right now.
And so next week, Carla will be here. You can hear a lot about this from her as well.
You know who Carla is?
I know who Carla is. She goes to Bridget Shore, right? That's the Carla, or is it a different Carla?
This Carla goes to Fridley.
Oh, maybe it's a different one. No, there could be. There's so many
There-
people
there's
with
a- there's
names.
Names. They're crazy.
Okay, then I'm wrong. I thought when you said Carla, I was like, oh man.
This one goes to Fridley.
Okay. Well, okay. So, then my bad. Then different Carla. then you won't get this as well. But yeah, so basically it has a conference charter for AAWS, Alcoholics Anonymous World Services in New York. But it also, we have 12 concepts of world service. So in the eyes of like state of New York, we're a nonprofit program, but we're technically a spiritual corporation. And so the 12 concepts of world service is what keeps, just like the steps, keep me sober, keep me even keel. The traditions keep the groups from killing each other
Yes, they do.
and keep us on our keel. The 12 concepts of world service keep AA as a whole together and keeps that spiritual corporation going so that we don't allow the perilous wealth and power to take over, that we always go back to the fifth
So we
tradition.
don't become elitist.
Exactly, and we have, like, for example, last weekend we had the West Central Regional Forum. So the West Central, that's made up of, in our region, it's Montana, Nebraska, both Dakotas, North and South, Iowa, and Nebraska. Did I say Nebraska? Wyoming.
Okay.
I always forget about Wyoming. And then Minnesota has 2 areas. Area 35, which is north of St. Cloud, and then Area 36, which we're in. And so we have about 1,200 registered groups and about 20,000 registered quote-unquote members in southern Minnesota. That's just based on guesstimates of average membership that goes to meetings, because we're anonymous. And so, yeah, the West Central Regional Forum is where we get to meet the GSO staff. We get to meet the general manager. We get to meet the treasurer that maintains all of our money, who is actually we call it a Class A trustee, aka non-alcoholic. These are people that are not in recovery. They might have been part of Al-Anon, but they have some kind of reason to want to be a trust. They're elected by the conference to be a trustee, and so
They're not in the program?
no, some of them. So they're called Class A trustees, non-alcoholic, and one of them.
Is that a requirement that they're not in the program, or they
Nope.
can be?
Nope. We have Class B trustees who are alcoholic and are in recovery, and they're just phenomenal as well.
Interesting.
One of our Class A trustees that I got to hear from last weekend, because it was over Zoom, she was hilarious. She's a parole officer.
Have to have a sense of humor to do that. Oh my
Exactly.
gosh.
Well, so a lot of our trustees, that's what they've been parole officers, psychiatrists. Because we don't
They've had some
go
type
away.
of
Yeah.
dealing with.
We still,
with-
he's
So they
alcohol-
know us.
yeah.
Yeah.
We've had, Father Dowling, he's been a trustee back in the 50s.
they feel the pull to help us.
Yeah, so we don't shy away from the religious aspect, and just like our big book talks about. We don't shy away from all that.
So in other words, I should have gotten a service sponsor before I ran for the board. At Blaine Allen.
It's never too late.
Let me paint you a picture, if you can believe this. So, an overwhelmed young
Well-
man named Tad was doing, 60 hours of service work. COVID was happening. He was running himself dry, not working, and he runs into Eric on a Thursday night. And probably for about the second or third week, I collapse on Eric, beg him to shut the club down, and I vent to him for 30 minutes. And finally, Eric gets me to shut up the third week and was like, hey, you know what it sounds like? You need a service sponsor. And he starts talking to me about this. So if you find that hard to believe, it really happened.
Yep. Yeah. So my service sponsor is a past delegate. So she represented us back in. She was panel 65, which is the 65th conference, which the conference is held every April in New York. Yeah, and just phenomenal. Knows all about like general service. I go to her with any question I have about service. When I have questions, because the beautiful thing about this program is we ask for help. Whether it's ask for help working your steps with your sponsor, but when you have questions about service, ask for help.
Wait a minute. Say that again. Say that again, just in case somebody didn't hear that.
Ask for help.
Oh.
And it's really hard.
Which is, even in my experience, it's a hard thing to do.
Well, and
you
it's
know?
hard to go to our predecessors if we're not using our predecessors.
Exactly. Well said. Yeah. Exactly. You know. So, but yeah, that's been the most amazing thing, and I do get a lot of that, like, what service, and that's fine. You know,
You got that from me tonight.
and that's fine.
Huh?
You get a little.
That's
we,
fantastic.
We remain teachable, so that's awesome. So
Yeah, we do.
yeah. So, but you know what though, it's never too late to get a service sponsor. But keep in mind too, it's like if you do get involved with Alano clubs, of course you have to remember Alano clubs and AWS are two separate things. You know, so they don't follow the same traditions. They don't follow the same. They have their own, which is perfectly fine. So, yeah. I know. I tend to, you gotta watch me. Let me know if I go on a like service tangent. I'm known as Mr.
Well,
A. Service.
now I gotta read that.
You're
thing.
fine.
Now I gotta read the
Hold
thing.
on.
So I did the whole thing with service too. Like,
There.
Oh my
Boom.
yeah, I lied. I don't
my
want to read.
gosh.
I don't want to read.
No,
it.
you want to read the whole thing. You
No.
just said that. We got you on air. I can clip it.
I don't want to read it.
These are the large print. This is the large print version.
Holy,
He just threw out a textbook that
like
was as
giant.
big as my anatomy book in nursing school.
And I'll tell you, so this is the color of this is pink, right?
It's pink.
You know how that the color was chosen? Our past regional trustee, who's actually from northern Minnesota, a couple of years ago, he was at a weekend, a trustee weekend, and they were talking about the service manual and like, oh, what color to do the cover. And one of our other trustees, they were kind of joking, and they're like, they looked at our this guy from northern Minnesota, and they go, how about the color of his shirt? And he was wearing a pink shirt. Like,
That's funny.
done. So,
Huh.
yeah. And that was the most amazing story. It's like that's how they came with the color of that service manual, which you can actually get for $3.55.
Come sit in my spot.
So,
That is so
Yeah.
funny.
so, but no, this is that's the final report every year they come out with. This is what's discussed.
So I'm all for any AA literature. Like I have
Yeah.
a bookshelf full of books, but that looks like some stuff where I'm gonna crack it open and it's gonna be night time.
Oh, it can. Oh, believe me, the conference charter. If you're into that kind of stuff, definitely get involved.
I love service work. I tell
We-
people all the time, like everybody's like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, you stand at that door and you give somebody a hug.
Yeah.
Like so one of the things that I tell people all the time is that, so I've been in this program for a very long time. A very, very long time. And I used to be that girl that emptied ashtrays and
Oh, nice.
made coffee because people could smoke.
Yep.
And it was gross because like you're sitting in a room and all you can see is the cloud of smoke and it looks like a storm's coming in because it's so dang cloudy in a room. And that's what I would do is I would walk around and just empty ashtrays. And I would sit there and I would wait for an old timer to put out a cigarette just so I could empty the ashtray of the one cigarette because I wanted to do my service work.
Yeah. Give you purpose.
Yeah, it gave me purpose.
Yep.
It gave me something to do.
Absolutely.
I mean, it was just crazy.
Well, and I think that's service work is like for me in my recovery. There's so much of working the steps. I had to go inside of myself, and I needed to figure out who I was at my core, right? And then, but it's not. That's part of my addiction too. Is me. That's where service work, getting outside of myself, and that's where I'm able to now take a step back in a lot of situations because I'm not stuck in myself in those circumstances. I look big picture versus just my perspective in that moment, and I think service work is a huge help to that, at least in my recovery.
What are you doing for service right now?
Whatever Tad tells me to. Do podcasts.
Wrong answer.
No.
yeah.
Actually, I just wrapped up a stint running a meeting for Will Work for Recovery. Doing that, I was going to take on a new trusted servant role, and unfortunately, there was a conflict in scheduling on that, so I couldn't commit to that. But anything I
Yeah.
can. I don't care if it's helping people get to and from meetings. Trying to assist with sponsoring. That's a new thing for me in my recovery and my program too. So
She's also my
That's good.
backup co-host.
There you go.
jump
And
on
you know
whenever
what?
I
That
can.
all those little service commitments, making coffee, or back in the day, ashtrays, greeting, or there's another one, exit greeter. You know, that's my Sunday night grace meeting. I used to always, you know, I learned that from another old timer. Is you would get up at the door, and I would catch sponsees that way. You know, because you know newcomers that come in, they sneak out the door. They don't want to be seen. And I exit greet and I make sure that every single person not only gets a greet on their way in, but they get a greet on the way out. And I picked up sponsees that way.
They do that where they try to exit quick. So at Blaine, so I go to Blaine. Have you ever been to Blaine, Alleno?
That's a little too far for me.
So at Blaine,
No offense.
Alleno, we have these chairs that line up right by the wall. And there's this one chair, and we call it the half measures chair because you can literally
Oh, my.
sneak out
Yep.
and nobody can really kind of catch you. So like when you're sitting right there,
Yeah.
you gotta kind of watch because
Yeah.
you gotta see who's gonna sit there. Because if it's a newcomer, you gotta like stick your foot out and trip them or something. Because you gotta watch and see because if they get up and leave in the middle of the meeting, one of us is gonna get out and follow and be like, "Hey, where are you
Hey,
going?
what's
What are
up?"
you doing?
Yep.
You want to get some coffee? You want to smoke a cigarette? Like, what are you doing?"
Yeah. Every meeting has that newcomer corner, the newcomer chair. It's like
It's the half measures chair.
it's like, you know, whenever you go to like Thanksgiving dinner, you leave that one chair open for that person who's not there. We have the newcomer corner, the newcomer chair.
Yep.
It's like, yep. I know I've had stories of walking into like my noon meetings back in the day, and you know, it's like, oh, who's sitting in the newcomer corner? Be like, newcomer. You gonna go greet them? All right, I'm on it. You're on it. Cool. You know, and it's just like yes, and that's why, you know, part of what keeps me go back to meetings is things like that.
Seeing that as part of the service work too. It doesn't have to be something formal. You don't have to necessarily be a trusted servant
No.
to do service work, and that's one beautiful part about the program is not everybody the way that you choose to share your gifts and you know your experience, strength, and hope. It's so many different ways. So whether it's emptying that ashtray with that single cigarette in it, making the coffee, if you're being the greeter, walked up to my meeting tonight and it was fantastic. They're like, "Oh, it's the hug lady," and they came running up to me, and I'm like, you know, I've been called worse. I'm okay with that, you know, the hug lady. Yes,
Yeah.
hugs, not drugs. I'm starting a gang. Eleni, you get to be part of it. I'm gonna hug you in. It's instead of thug life, it's hug life.
That's already a thing.
Yeah.
No, I'm
hug.
starting it. Shh. Shh.
You're starting
No,
it?
this is on there.
Well, you know what? You can still start it.
We're gonna have to talk
Yeah.
about that.
Well, because there's there's the 3 T's of service. You know what the 3 T's of service are?
What's that?
Time, treasury, and talent. So you can give your time to giving someone a ride. You can give your time to come into a meeting early and setting up chairs, cleaning up the ashtrays, whatever it might be. You know, you can also give up, you know, the treasury work, you know, putting those $5 in the 7th tradition. You
There you
know, being willing to, oh, we need someone to run the intergroup, pick up medallions. And then you can, you know, instead of like being reimbursed for that, you can say, I want to do an in-kind contribution and just, you know, contribute those medallions or a couple big books. But then the talent, you know, and that's the one that can be kind of tough. You have to kind of develop that in your sobriety is you figure out what are your talents. Kind of like when we talk about the Class A trustees, that we find these, like an A tradition, the special workers. You know, these Class A trustees, these are people that are in that particular field. They are in the financial district, so they can run our treasury. They can run our money. So a bunch of stumble bum alcoholics don't lose it all. Because I know I'm not perfect with my money. But we find people with those special talents. And so it even comes down to, like in the southern Minnesota area, it comes down to your meeting. You know, you might have a special talent that you're good at running a meeting. You know, you have that good talent. You know, you're good at running a podcast. You're good at being a committee chair. You know, you have that particular kind of talent that you can do. Or if you suck at money, like I kind of always have been, become a treasurer. That's the most amazing, humbling experience that you get to learn how to manage your finances, managing your group's finances. Because you have the group to hold you accountable. That's the most amazing thing. So,
Wow.
yeah. So,
You do a lot of service work.
Yeah, what do you do for service?
I'm around here a lot, and one of the things that I've noticed is I started doing a medallion night basically, and I I haven't done a lot of service work in the past, and one of the things that I noticed when I started doing this is when I have thoughts of using or drinking or something like that, one of the things that's filtered into my head, and this came from kind of out of nowhere, was wait a minute, if I do this, I'm not going to be able to, with a straight face, be able to get up and do this medallion night and have fun doing it, because it's not going to be fun anymore. I probably won't come do it, and if I do try to bullshit my way through it, it's just going to be screwed up. So that service work thing is something that I am starting to see the payoffs of being of service. It's starting to I'm starting to have some. I don't know. I can't think of the word, but it's like it's something that I cherish, and I don't want to lose that. And so it's changing my sobriety. It's changing the way that I am thinking about being sober, and I don't know if I can explain it well enough, but it's changing. It's changing it, and that's something that I haven't been through. I've been in and out of this program for a long time, and I've never really spent much time doing any service work. And this isn't even a commitment. It's something that I just kind of walked into and sort of kind of made my own. I really enjoy doing it, so it's really fun.
Would you say it's a flip perspective or a new lifestyle?
It is, in the way that it is allowing me more tools to perpetuate my sobriety. It's giving me, instead of just having people to call or going to a meeting or saying a prayer, it's added a whole new perspective on kind of ownership of the sobriety, and something that's yeah.
And I'll just say one last thing about it is it's been a joy to watch. And what I will say is people said this to me, and I kind of got offended when my sponsor of 13 years said, "You're different." I don't
Yeah.
remember this. Jacob, you're different, and it's been awesome to watch.
Well, thank you, Ted. It's been nice having you be a part of this.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Aw, bromance
He's out.
time.
Oh.
Nice.
Blushed,
Well
and he
said.
blushed, and he like, that was great.
What a special moment.
New segment,
stuff,
Tender
guys.
Moments with Tad.
Oh.
Tender moments. with
Tender
Tad.
Moments with Tad. New segment.
Oh my God. Yeah, so I was doing other stuff, but I was still listening.
That's like Deep Thoughts with Jack Handy.
Right? And I heard the 3 T's of service. So that was cool.
Yeah. I can't really take credit for that. So one of the district committee member before me, the rotation before me for District 18 here in Minneapolis, it was that rotation, that district committee member kind of came out with that 3 T's of, and so I kind of adopted it even to mine, and I kept it going, and I continue to share that with other people.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's what the program is about. It's about being able to share, right?
exactly. Exactly.
We don't
Yeah.
know until we know.
Yeah.
We don't know until we know.
But you know,
The more
that's the biggest question. Even so, speaking of West Central and A as a whole, is the biggest question is we always ask ourselves, we don't get enough membership and participation, and so at the area assemblies, area committee meetings, and the West Central forums, the West Central service conferences, these are fun events. You know, and all are welcome to attend these events. You don't have to have a formal commitment. You don't be a GSR, committee chair, an area officer. You can be there. You know, because the service conference, which actually Area 36 Southern Minnesota is hosting it this coming year, which is the first weekend of March of 2022.
Hey.
We will be hosting it. So people from Montana, Wyoming, Nebraska, they'll be coming in. And I'll tell you, it is wonderful if hopefully we can have it in person. But it is wonderful. No, because I have expanded my fellowship to where last weekend, being on Zoom, I was having side chats with people who were living in Nebraska, people who were living in Montana. I'm like, hey, yeah, check out. They were just picking up their coffee cup for the like 14th time. Yeah, I've been doing like Zoom bingo. It's like with people. It's like I know people in Wyoming. I know people in Nebraska, and I talk to them. So that when I travel, it's like I have a larger fellowship network, but that I can also look forward to things when we host things here in our very home state. And I can be like, hey, come on up to Minnesota, And then when I get to go out when I got to go out to Montana last year, right before COVID, and that was amazing, So be able to expand that.
Did you
and
see
meet
mountains?
New people. What?
Did you see the mountains?
Well, you could see them, yeah. But I was mostly in the hotel the whole time.
Oh, so you not go out to mountains?
No, I didn't get much time. But it was because I got to go out there, because I was of service. I was a
Yeah.
district committee member, so I got to go out there. So I had to kind of focus. I couldn't really just go off and do things.
Look, I have a rule, and I've only ever. I just made it up, but I have a rule that I just made up, and I've only ever
go,
been
honesty.
somewhere. I've only ever been somewhere where I've been able to do this once. When I was 13, I went to Alaska. But if you're somewhere with mountains, go check out mountains.
Oh,
dude.
of course. Well,
New rule moving forward.
all you got to do is go out to 4 hours west of here to South Dakota.
Oh, true
Just
that.
right there. I know because I'm partially from there. My mom's from there, and we go
You're
out there.
partially South
Partially.
Dakotan?
I call myself hybrid. I'm a hybrid
look.
country city boy.
Are you talking about the Black Hills?
Oh
That's
my
that's
gosh.
12 hours from here. I just go 4 hours from here. Yeah.
I've been to the Black Hills.
Yeah.
So I would love to flip and have friends in different states because
Never
that
seen
are
that?
in the program because that would be amazing to be able to just like go on vacation and be like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna be in
Yeah.
Texas. Let's
You
go
have
hit up
family
some
everywhere.
meetings.
You
Let's
have
go-
family
yeah.
everywhere.
Cause we have a good buddy Leon. Like he goes different places and he gets to see like different people.
Yeah.
And he goes like he went to Florida and he stayed with some friends and they went and hit up some meetings and did some fun things. And we have other friends that, like Timmy, he went down to Chicago. Like there's so many different
Right.
people. Like
Yeah. I think it was I can't remember just a recent issue of the Grapevine. There was a story about a guy that did like over 100 meetings, and it was like in different states.
That would be
There's
cool.
a whole story he typed his entire story about hitting over 100 meetings, and he just went on a circuit, and not just in
yeah,
one state.
I've done that in Minnesota.
Yeah.
The Global
I
Podcasting
love it.
Networks, that's
Yeah.
one of the dreams for one of the shows, is that one of the shows travels around
Yep.
and does that, and does recovery stuff all over the world. That's
Yeah.
one of the dreams.
One of the dreams. So we need to get a scoop. What is a mystery machine?
There you go, Mr.
Oh
Machine.
my gosh.
Oh my
It's
God!
odd.
Yeah.
It's odd.
The
You
reco-
had me
the
at mystery
recovery-
machine.
the-
I'm so
Kiss-
down.
The recovery
And then,
machine.
and then get some Scooby Snacks.
A mystery machine?
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I'm trying to win the lottery right now. If I win, I'm buying a mystery machine.
So we're gonna get out. We're gonna get a tour bus.
I'm gonna get a big, huge tour bus.
Yeah. We're gonna
And
get a
I'm gonna
van.
quit my
Because a
job.
van would suck. We're gonna get a tour.
I'm gonna quit my job.
I'm not answering.
I know, right?
I don't want to touch that.
Yeah, you Shaggy.
I'll be Shaggy.
Jacob got
Yeah.
to be shaken.
Jacob. Yeah.
I already claimed to be Thelma from Pup Named
okay,
Scooby Doo
so
earlier.
We're getting, so we're getting close to the end here. So I just want to just give a few little. We're gonna just backtrack a little bit. So don't forget tomorrow there is the what is it called?
Pat C. birthday bash.
It's the Pat Cronin birthday bash. Right here at 2218.
Be here or be square.
It's going to be all day long. They also have the recovery walk down at the
Walk
Capitol.
for recovery.
The walk for recovery.
Cap-
We'll see you there.
Down at the
you there.
Capitol.
Oh, I'll be giving out stuff.
So come on down
You
for
will
any
be?
of this
Yeah.
stuff. You can look this stuff up online if you need to. There's a
I
lot
just
of fun
Google it.
events that are still happening. The summer is not over. I don't care what
No.
the calendar says. Summer is not over.
Yeah, get it
So-
in. This is,
You know what?
Get
You
in
can
there.
come join us on Sunday at 11 o'clock at the Bade Makaska volleyball courts for a little volleyball. Bade Makaska, formerly known as Lake Calhoun. Bade Makaska.
So, there you go. You
Yeah.
can also do that. And then don't forget there's always other fun stuff to do.
Yep.
People play volleyball other places. People go bowling. I mean, there's so much fun stuff
Yep.
to do. So check out whatever you need to talk, reach out to people that you can find something fun to do.
And if you're looking to get in service too, especially in southern Minnesota, you can always, I've got a couple emails you can reach out to. It's literature@area36.org or grapevine at area36.org. Reach out to me, send me an email. I always check that email. And yeah, we can definitely help you get involved in service.
Absolutely. And don't
We'll talk.
forget that I did put mine, Tad, and Tim's phone number in the comments. So if you do need to reach out, you can reach out. There's
Matt
female
put his in
and
there.
male. So if you need to, there is a female phone number there for any females
Men with
that
the
wanna
men,
reach out.
females with the females.
Yes.
It's recovery, not discovery.
Yeah.
Although the Q&A and sponsorship pamphlet, it does state, you know, when it comes to sponsorship, you can, no matter what race, creed, sexual orientation, as long as there's no possible romantic entanglements. That's exactly
Yes.
how it says.
But if you
But-
feel more comfortable,
So
The
what we're saying
tradition
is,
is-
don't hit these numbers up trying to get jiggy with
Exactly.
it. Is that okay?
About fellowship,
Yeah.
companionship.
yeah.
I was
Yep.
gonna say it's 2021. I don't think anybody gets jiggy with it anymore.
I can dig with it. We can talk
Oh, okay, Matt gets jiggy with it.
So, moving along,
Moving on.
we are going to get into gratitude. So, Eric, what are you grateful for today?
Gratitude. I love those meetings. No, I don't like those meetings.
Well, we end. It's attitude for
No, that's
gratitude, so
fine.
we end every show with gratitude.
I just always like to say that because it's like, this is the only time to really say things you're grateful for instead of a whole meeting where you talk about it. No, I mean just grateful for the life that I've never known before. Even today, just being able to be grateful to remain teachable.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Mandy, what are you grateful for?
Learning new things. I'm really glad that I got to sit in tonight and hear more about the program. Just like, there's different levels and different parts as far as depth in addiction. Same thing with recovery, and knowing additional resources for that is phenomenal.
What's going?
Jacob, what are you grateful for?
Today I'm grateful for me opening up my ears and starting to listen to people, and when I ask for help, that it's there.
Matt, what are you
My
grateful
bad.
for?
Well, today it's my new best friend, Tad, that's for sure. But also the podcast and being able to chair the Friday meetings here at 2218. I've been doing for the past few weeks these quotes. Being with who we lost this week, I had this great one for nothing is greater than love. Spread some today, because they were lovely people, no matter how we look at them.
True that.
Tad, what are you
Good
grateful
point.
for?
Oh, you brat. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for Mandy, Elena, Matt, Jacob, and Eric. And I'm grateful that I'm able to appreciate the people in my life. Because I wasn't always able to appreciate the people in my life, the good people. I would take advantage of them. I would make it about myself. And I'm able to appreciate them. And when able, I try and be an asset to their life too. And I'm grateful for that.
Oh.
You thought I was being a smartass at first.
I know you're a smartass.
I know, right? That's
Sensitive
kind of
Tad tonight. What are you
Um,
grateful for?
Don't say the weekend.
I can say whatever I want to say.
It's the
Yeah, it's her
weekend,
gratitude.
baby. What are you
There's
grateful for?
one thing you will learn, Mr. Matthews. Tell me what to do.
Yes, I'm grateful for this too. I'll take my own.
Do not ever tell me what to
You
do.
grateful for this, Jacob?
I'm grateful that I said yes tonight to come up here and stuck around because this is great.
All right.
I am grateful for everything. I am grateful that I wake up every morning. I am grateful that I am clean and sober. I am grateful that I have a roof over my head. I am grateful that I can't even tell you all the things I'm grateful for. I really can't.
Yes.
I am grateful for everything that I have because if I was still using, if I was still drinking, I wouldn't have anything. And I mean, I stopped using drugs a long time ago and then started drinking. But even if I wouldn't have, and I wouldn't have stopped drinking, I would have gone back out there and started doing those drugs and I'd be worse off than when I was. And I'm glad that I never went back out there and did that. And I watch the people that are still out there, and it reminds me. And I'm grateful that I get to go to meetings and see newcomers walk in the door and remind me of what I would be if I was still out there. And I'm grateful that I get to help those newcomers when they come in the door because they help me too. It's not just a one-way street. We don't just help them. They help
Nope.
us. And sometimes they help us a lot more than we can help them. So, yeah, I'm very grateful. And I'm flipping grateful it's the weekend.
It's the weekend, baby.
Because Saturdays are my favorite day of the week because I go to my home group.
There you go.
And
Where's
then
your home group?
And then Sundays I meet with my
808
sponsor.
Blaine.
I go to the Blaine.
Oh, no, 1010 I
Saturday
meant.
1010 Big Book meeting. It's an extremely big meeting.
Blaine is the president of the Blaine Elemental.
Lots of people are in that meeting. Lots of recovery. Lots of newcomers too. We just finished reading Acceptance is the Answer chapter,
I
which
love
my
that.
sponsor made me read 1,000,000 times.
I used to have to read that paragraph every freaking day.
Well, we read the entire chapter,
Yeah.
and
Give me a story.
I mentioned this a lot because every time something would happen in my life, my sponsor would say, "Well, I think you need to read Acceptance is the Answer."
Go
Son
read
of a,
417.
son of a,
Right.
son of a. Yeah.
Well, you
Heard
know,
that.
my favorite story is Women Suffer Too.
Yeah,
That's
they
one
do.
of my favorite stories.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. But go check it out. It's a really good story.
Well, they got to put up with us.
Yeah.
You know, my favorite thing
'Cause-
about the Big Book is that no matter what story you read, you can
Oh.
always change the
Yep.
lingo and the language, like
Yep.
the story
So-
to the wives.
Yeah.
You can change it to the husband.
Look for the similarities.
You can, yes. It doesn't. So like people are like, well, why do I have to read this chapter? You don't have to read it. Just like people, addicts that come
you know what
to
I
the
love?
AA meeting, you don't have to read it. Alcohol, change it to
You know what I love?
you are addicted to.
Once you get to that point in your recovery, like, because the world's moved away from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The world's moved away from that.
Yep.
It's about division and whatever, and we're not going to get into that. But what I love is in recovery, what you just said. You can always change the lingo.
Yep.
You can
So that
always
you're
change
included.
the lingo.
You can include yourself. Because
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
it's all about unity. You're the opposite of
First tradition.
We hear everyone say it, whether they're quoting it from that TED Talk or they really mean it or whatever. The opposite of recovery is connection. And that's what we're looking for
Yes.
on many levels, not just the deeper levels, superficial, deep, spiritual. We're looking to connect with other human beings in many different ways. And that's
Yep.
what we need
Yep.
because that's what we were missing and what was severed. Spiritual connect, a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So, Elena, talk about next week's show.
All right. So next week you will be here with yours truly and Mandy.
They will be
Yeah.
We will
hosting.
be the hosts next week, and our two guests will be Alicia and Carla. And we will have Tad in the background for a brief minute. He's going to be doing this Tad tidbit thingy. I don't. It doesn't really matter. He'll be here for a brief minute.
Well, I'll
we-
be here. I just will
and-
only talk for a minute.
Tad. And we might let him on for a gratitude too. We might let him talk for a minute for that too. But next week you'll have 4 amazing women on the show.
Girl power.
And we'll come with a few amazing little things to talk about. And then, yeah. So yeah, that'll just wrap up the end of September. And I just want to point out that next Friday is my daughter's 17th birthday.
Oh my God.
Oh,
My God, my baby.
Is this the last one to leave
This
the
is
nest?
the last one. Oh my God.
You got a year.
I might have to adopt. I might have to adopt.
A fresh bulldog?
I told everybody at work I'm gonna get a parrot because they live for like 90 years or something like that.
You're gonna get a parrot, like a macaw,
And you'll still have something
There you
that'll
go.
talk
Like a
back,
big-ass
just
macaw.
like a kid.
And then when people come in my house, I can teach them how to say bad words. Everybody at work's like, "Do not get a parrot." I said, "I think I'm gonna get a parrot."
I mean, it's gonna be fine until the parrot tells you to shut up.
and then we're gonna be arguing
Like,
back and
there you
forth.
go.
It'll be just like
You're
parenting
gonna
all
call
over
me
again.
Tad. I'm arguing with my parrot.
No, the parrot's gonna make me feel good. I'm gonna walk in the door
Yeah.
from work and it's gonna say, "Hello, beautiful."
That's a good idea.
See?
Yeah, sweet parrot.
They don't what?
If
So-
I'm gonna live
House.
alone, I'm gonna have somebody to talk to.
I like that idea.
I'm not gonna become a crazy cat lady.
No.
Why'd I get looked
I mean,
at?
I've got a set of birds right now in my house.
So-
I've got a parakeet and a finch,
Oh, nice.
but they were my nieces, and I kind of took them on board. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So, Tad, do you have a buzzer beater tonight?
You know, even if I don't, I'll make one up. So that's kind of how the buzzer beaters work. What is a buzzer beater? So,
What is a buzzer beater?
so a buzzer beater is a question where we just go with the first answer that comes to our head, and it's the last segment of the show. It's just a little part. In today's buzzer beater, I say it's really simple, but it's not. Everyone's going to be like, what the fuck, Dad?
Oh, boy.
It's one of those what I think is simple, and it's not going to be. So if you, in honor of Recovery Month, if you could have any recovery event, like the Ride for Recovery, Ball Caps for Recovery, which is a baseball game, what would you do? And, you know, we're going to go to Elena first because she's looking perplexed and angry.
What? Me first?
Yes.
A recovery event.
Yeah. Dance for a recovery party, anything.
Any recovery event.
Yep, if it was yours to choose, just off the top of your
Mine
head.
to choose.
Yep.
Wait, real or fancied?
Whatever you desire.
I think we need to have a recovery ball.
Elena wants to do a recovery ball.
She gets a high five for that one.
Mandy, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm down. Like, yeah, recovery prom,
wanna
ball,
dress up.
whatever. That's awesome. Thank you.
So
I'm
Mandy and
saying-
Elena have combined powers.
I've already been talking to people about
They
this.
did,
We're gonna
that
have a
was,
conversation.
They do
They
them,
did
but
one back in 2018.
They used,
Well,
yeah.
I bring it back.
I didn't
Yeah,
go to
Yeah,
remember
I
we
was
hosted
gonna say,
this-
I
I've
was
never
gonna
been to a
go.
I
recovery
was
prom,
still
but they have
drinking in
them.
2018.
Matt, what would your recovery event be?
Be games for recovery.
Like,
What
what,
was
do you mean?
that?
Games, like video games.
Oh, game.
Oh, video game. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said
game
something
night. So you
else.
do a video game.
I'm like,
No,
wait,
game.
what?
Oh my gosh, Jacob, what do we do?
Costume party.
You want to do a non-Halloween
that's
costume,
similar
like
to
a
the
costume
ball.
ball?
A costume ball.
A masquerade ball. We
A
can put it all
masquerade
together. Oh my
ball.
gosh, you
You
guys!
are
this
fancy.
is happening right now.
Fancy.
This is
You want to?
No, we're gonna
We
talk.
could.
Well,
We could do that. 2218
New
likes
Year's,
to do
New Year's
stuff like
masquerade
that.
ball. It needs to happen.
That would be awesome. It'd be really cool.
You
You
heard
know
it
what?
here first, people.
well
We'll
then,
talk.
well then,
We'll-
why
we can
not
start-
bondage night?
Did you?
No.
Have you been listening to our show?
I like this guy.
Are you talking about books? God.
Yes,
Yes,
books.
Oh,
Is that your event, Derek?
No.
No.
I like this guy.
Oh, Eric's awesome.
Yeah.
That's why I've been trying to get him on.
All right. Right.
What's your recovery event, Eric?
I have to go with because I'm known as #sports, so recovery sports event. Just all sorts of sports.
You just want to have want to have a day where it's like a marathon of sports.
Exactly.
Like we're all dead because we can't
Because-
walk afterwards.
Yeah, we're all
Yes.
inclusive, not exclusive. So it's like you like to play basketball, cool, go play basketball. Oh, okay,
I'm
yeah,
thinking
cool.
like the sober Olympics is what I'm thinking. That's what I was thinking.
Yep,
You know what? Me and Eric are combining events. If the girls
Yeah.
can, me and Eric
More
are
like
having
the-
the
That's
sober
a better
Olympics.
way to put it. Sober Olympics. Yeah.
Next summer, coming to Minneapolis, the sober Olympics.
Done.
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, you're fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
EA Sports.
We'll do that in the winter. Instead of winter sports,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
do video game sports.
Well, we are thinking about bringing. We want to bring back Sober Splash. We haven't been able to do that the last couple of years.
What's that?
So for 3 years we did in the summertime, we would we would rent the St. Louis Park Rec Center
Okay.
on a Saturday night from like 7:30 to 10:30, and just go. We'd have a DJ. We'd have then the pool, the water slides, just 3 hours of fun. But COVID and all this other stuff over the last
That
couple
darn
of years, we haven't
COVID.
been able to do it. But maybe a sober Olympics, sober splash kind of thing, maybe.
What's COVID?
I don't know, what is that?
Yeah.
That's another episode.
Eric, we shall seriously, because
Yeah.
people are going to inquire about it, but we
Yeah.
got a whole year to figure it out. But the sober Olympics, that's going to happen.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have
I-
our
you
sober
know-
masquerade ball before
Yeah,
then,
we're
so
gonna-
Yeah, oh
people
yeah,
are still
yeah.
gonna be
Well, who do you
talking
think
about
I'm going to
that.
take to it? It's you. So I'm excited about that too, but I'm just trying not to do that because
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Did you
Sport.
just say you're taking her because we already planned to be dates?
Oh,
you might have an accident. But anyways, Elena just gave me the death stare.
if
No, if we're going to sober prom / ball. Anyways, moving right along.
I'm fluffier. I cuddle better.
oh,
That's debatable.
Are you the big? Are you the big? Are you the big spoon or the little spoon? Because I'm a fork.
We digress.
Woo!
All
There you
right.
go.
All right.
Oh my
so
God.
back
Wait,
to
wait.
the show here.
Hey.
hold on. All right.
So we just want to remind everybody
That you're loved.
that you're loved.
You're
and
enough.
that
Very
you're
much.
enough, and that we care about everyone, whether you're listening tonight or you're listening later. Don't forget to reach out. Tad's always available, day, evening, middle of the night. He loves phone calls in the middle of the night. So if
Oh,
you
3
need
a.m.
somebody
calls?
to talk to, shoot him a text.
I'm probably still up playing Madden.
Shoot me a
realistically.
text.
Or
Shoot
at work.
Anybody a text that's on the show, and we will talk to you if you need somebody to talk to.
Absolutely.
Or shoot in the comments, because we will look at the comments again later. You can always comment after too. So
Share us, like us, love us, tell people
Yeah.
about us. Be kind to everyone. Tell people that you love them. You never know. Life's short. And most of all, don't forget to have a little fun. That's what we've
Exactly.
been,
Don't take yourself so damn seriously. Rule 62.
yeah, Rule 62.
Go.
And with that, we bid you good night. And you know what? The gals will see you. Or, well, they won't see you, but the gals will be with you next week.